Thanks for tuning in to www.getrock.org, the Rock Youth Ministry of First Family Church. This week's question is this: is smoking pot a sin? Well, smoking pot, pot's a natural herb, right? I mean, God would have created the natural herb. But smoking pot is not God's process, it's man's process. You see, God didn't create this herb and then tell people to roll it up and smoke it in a tree. It would be similar to saying this: God created sex, but He didn't intend for somebody's parent to go have an affair with somebody else. That's not what God created it for. That's what man made happen with it. That's what has happened to pot. But here to answer today's question is my wife, Jenilee Cunningham.
The year I graduated, 6,000 people smoked marijuana for the first time each day. In fact, marijuana is the most commonly abused illegal drug in the United States. If you haven't already been offered marijuana, you probably will during your teenage years, and you'll probably be fed the same things that I was. That it's fun, that it's cool, that it takes all your problems away, and that it gives you the most amazing high. So, is smoking pot a sin? Well, I'm going to give you 3 reasons why it is. First, because the Bible speaks out directly against drugs. In Galatians 5:19 through 20, Paul writes, "The acts of the sinful nature are obvious: sexual immorality, impurity and debauchery, idolatry, and witchcraft." Now, the word for witchcraft comes from the Greek word pharmakia, which means pharmacy or pharmaceuticals. Now, the Bible was originally written in Greek, so it's important that we know what this word means. So this word means mind-altering drugs. Basically, back in Paul's days, these pagan, ungodly people would try to use drugs to reach their gods or to reach dead people or spirits or have magical powers. So Paul is saying that these mind-altering drugs today or back in his day is still wrong. It is a sin. The second reason smoking pot is wrong is because it's illegal. Romans 13:1 through 3 says that we should be obedient to our governing authorities. And any way you want to cut it, marijuana is still illegal. And lastly, smoking pot is harmful to your body. A study tells us that marijuana is known to impair short-term memory and attention. It leads to learning problems, distorted perception, and difficulty thinking and solving problems. Basically, marijuana can mess you up in school, sports, and all sorts of other activities. 1 Corinthians 3:16 tells us that our body is God's temple and that He actually lives in us. That means that we have to be careful about what we let into our body, that we can't let harmful things come into our body. The Bible repeatedly tells us to be sober and self-controlled. A drug doesn't lead you any closer to Christ. Instead, it brings you away from Christ. It enslaves you and brings you under its power. Marijuana has been repeatedly considered the gateway drug, which means that it leads to other drugs, other harder drugs. So don't open yourself up to marijuana or smoking pot. So is smoking pot a sin? Yes.
There you have it. Smoking pot is not only a sin, it's harmful to your body, and it's illegal. So why would you do it? Some of you out there are struggling with smoking pot, but there's a way out. His name's Jesus Christ. I want to encourage you right now at your computer to get on www.getrock.org and click on our salvation video and hear how Jesus Christ can change your life. Thanks for tuning in, and if you have another question you want answered, send it to www.getrock.org or email it at getrock@ffc.org. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.